Hi friends, welcome back. So in this session, we are going to learn about regulation of human respiratory system. Regulation of respiration. See, in our body, this respiration is regulated. Respiration is regulated by some centers located in our central nervous system. They are known as respiratory centers. So respiration is regulated by the respiratory centers. And these respiratory centers are located in the pons varoli and medulla oblongata. So we have respiratory centers, and that respiratory centers are located in medulla oblongata and pons varoli. Suppose this is the sagittal view of our brain stem, that is the pons varoli and medulla oblongata region. So we have respiratory centers, they are located in this pons region as well as medulla oblongata. Then the respiratory centers in our body includes, first one, pneumotaxic center. First one is pneumotaxic center. There is a location located in the upper pons region, pneumotaxic center. So respiratory centers include, first type is pneumotaxic center located in upper pons region, and second one is respiratory rhythm center. Second type is respiratory rhythm center. These are the respiratory center. One is pneumotaxic center. Second one, the respiratory rhythm center. This respiratory rhythm center located in this medulla oblongata. Respiratory rhythm center located in medulla oblongata. Suppose these are the respiratory rhythm centers. These form the respiratory rhythm centers. So these are called as the respiratory rhythm centers. These are the respiratory rhythm centers located in this medulla oblongata. So respiration is regulated by the respiratory centers located in pons varoli and medulla oblongata. And these respiratory centers are pneumotaxic center located in upper pons region and the respiratory rhythm center located in the medulla oblongata. These are the respiratory centers. Then this respiratory rhythm center, this from the respiratory rhythm center. This respiratory rhythm center includes a dorsal respiratory group. A dorsal respiratory group. DRG, dorsal respiratory group, or DRG. Another one, a ventral respiratory group. Or VRG. So ventral respiratory group or VRG. These are the respiratory rhythm centers. So respiratory rhythm centers are dorsal respiratory group and ventral respiratory group. This is a sagittal view, and in this sagittal view, this is the dorsal portion, this one is the ventral portion. So this dorsal respiratory group are located in the dorsal side of this medulla oblongata, and this one is located in the ventral side of medulla oblongata. So this one dorsal respiratory group and ventral respiratory group. Then this dorsal respiratory group are involved in inspiration. This is actually the inspiratory center. This dorsal respiratory group are responsible for inspiration. And this ventral respiratory group are involved in both inspiration as well as expiration. So this ventral respiratory group are involved in both inspiration and expiration. But this VRG is not involved in the quiet breathing. In our normal breathing, in our effortless breathing, there is no role in this ventral respiratory group. And we have one more respiratory group, pneumotaxic center. Pneumotaxic center located in the upper part of pons region. So pneumotaxic center located in the upper pons region. And its function. This pneumotaxic center cut the inspiration. So this pneumotaxic center inhibit the dorsal respiratory group or inspiratory center. So its function is cut the inspiration. It cut the inspiration, hence it is also known as this pneumotaxic center is also known as cut-off center because it cut the inspiration. So in our body, this respiration is regulated by the respiratory centers. These respiratory centers are pneumotaxic center, then the dorsal respiratory group and ventral respiratory group. This dorsal as well as ventral respiratory group togetherly called as the respiratory rhythm center. Then these respiratory centers are highly sensitive to. These respiratory centers are highly sensitive to PCO2 and this proton or H plus concentration in our arterial blood. So these centers are highly sensitive to PCO2 as well as H plus in our arterial blood. When the partial pressure of carbon dioxide or the hydrogen ion concentration increases in the blood, these respiratory centers become stimulated and the breathing will become faster and deeper. So in our body, the rate and depth of our breathing depends on the concentration of carbon dioxide and H plus in our arterial blood. Our oxygen have no significant role in the regulation of breathing because breathing is regulated by these respiratory centers and these respiratory centers are sensitive only to partial pressure of carbon dioxide as well as the concentration of hydrogen ion. And they are not sensitive to, these centers are not sensitive to oxygen. So oxygen have no significant role in the regulation of respiration. But the change in carbon dioxide or hydrogen ion concentration in our blood is detected by some receptors, not by these centers. So change in the carbon dioxide concentration and hydrogen ion concentration in our body detected by the chemoreceptors. The chemoreceptors. They are the chemoreceptors of central nervous system. They are first one the chemoreceptors of central nervous system. Chemoreceptors are the chemoreceptors of central nervous system. This one is the chemoreceptor of central nervous system called the chemosensitive area. Another chemoreceptors are the peripheral chemoreceptors. Another one, the peripheral chemoreceptors. The peripheral chemoreceptors of carotid artery and aortic arch. The peripheral chemoreceptors of carotid artery and aortic arch. Okay, that's the change in PCO2 and H plus ion concentration in our arterial blood detected by the chemoreceptors. And these chemoreceptors are the chemoreceptors of central nervous system called the chemosensitive area near this respiratory rhythm center. And the peripheral chemoreceptors. The peripheral chemoreceptors of carotid artery and aortic arch. And we know we have aorta and we have the left aortic arch. Suppose this is that left aortic arch. So this is the dorsal aorta, aortic arch. Here these chemoreceptors are found in this peripheral chemoreceptors, like chemoreceptors are found in this aortic arch. This is the aortic arch. So the chemoreceptors are found in this aortic arch as well as carotid artery. This from carotid artery. What is carotid artery? The artery supply blood to brain called as carotid artery. So these from the peripheral chemoreceptors, they are the chemoreceptors of aortic arch as well as the chemoreceptors of carotid artery. Carotid artery means artery supply blood to brain. So these are the respiratory centers and receptors involved in the regulation of respiration. Then A change in partial pressure of carbon dioxide or H plus ion concentration in our body detected by these receptors. The change in PCO2 and H plus ion concentration in our body detected by these receptors. And these receptors send signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center. These two centers are called as respiratory rhythm center. These two centers are respiratory rhythm center, and these respiratory rhythm center primarily regulate respiration. So for the inspiration, whenever this PCO2 or H plus ion concentration changes in our blood, these receptors, all of these receptors get stimulated, and these receptors send signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center, because DRG is known as the inspiratory center. This DRG is inspiratory center. So the change in PCO2 and H plus ion concentration detected by these receptors when blood passes through these blood vessels, the change in PCO2 and H plus ion concentration detected by these receptors. And these receptors send signal to this DRG. See here, these receptors, like first one, this carotid artery. The receptors of carotid artery send signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center. The chemoreceptors of carotid artery send signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center through the vagus nerve. The chemoreceptors of carotid artery send signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center through the vagus nerve. Similarly, the chemoreceptors of aortic arch send signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center. So the chemoreceptors of aortic arch also send signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center through the glossopharyngeal nerve. So the chemoreceptors of aortic arch send signal to the DRG through the glossopharyngeal nerve. So these peripheral chemoreceptors like a carotid artery and aortic arch, they are sensitive to this PCO to H plus ion concentration, and these centers send signal to the DRG through the vagus nerve as well as the glossopharyngeal nerve. This carotid artery sends signal through the vagus nerve, and aortic arch, the receptors of aortic arch send signal to the glossopharyngeal nerve. As a result, this DRG gets stimulated. But we have one more chemoreceptor. We have chemoreceptor in our central nervous system called the chemosensitive area. The chemoreceptors of our central nervous system called as chemosensitive area. But this chemosensitive area are highly sensitive to H plus ion concentration. They are sensitive to hydrogen ion concentration. And this chemosensitive area detected only the change in hydrogen ion concentration in our body. Because this chemosensitive area is seen inside in central nervous system. But suppose this is the blood passes through the central nervous system. And we know we have blood-brain barriers. We have blood-brain barriers. Blood and brain barriers. Astrocytes like cells are blood-brain barriers. This blood-brain barrier is impermeable to hydrogen ions. You have blood-brain barriers. The blood-brain barriers are impermeable to hydrogen ions. Suppose we have blood-brain barrier, and this blood-brain barrier in our central nervous system is impermeable to hydrogen ions to the tissues of the central nervous system. That means this hydrogen ion can't pass us to the tissues of central nervous system. Then how this chemosensitive area becomes stimulated? This chemosensitive area becomes stimulated only by the exposure of hydrogen ions. But this blood-brain barrier is impermeable to hydrogen ion. So here, the increased carbon dioxide concentration is here. When this carbon dioxide concentration increases, this blood-brain barrier is permeable to carbon dioxide. Here we have blood-brain barrier, This blood-brain barrier is permeable to carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide passes to the tissues of central nervous system. This carbon dioxide passes to the tissues of central nervous system. And here, suppose this is the enlarged view of the cells in central nervous system. This is an enlarged view of cells in the central nervous system. The enlarged view of cells in the central nervous system. When carbon dioxide enters the cells in the central nervous system, this carbon dioxide combined with the water in this tissue. This carbon dioxide combined with the water in this tissue and form carbonic acid. And soon this carbonic acid dissociate to form H plus and bicarbonate. So here in this tissue, the carbon dioxide combined with the water to form carbonic acid. That carbonic acid dissociate to form H plus and bicarbonate. Thereby H plus ion concentration increases here. This chemosensitive area becomes stimulated. By this way, this chemosensitive area becomes stimulated. And whenever this chemosensitive area is stimulated, this chemosensitive area sends signal to the DRG. When it is stimulated, this chemosensitive area sends signal to the DRG and inspiratory center stimulated. So when the PCO2 and H plus ion concentration increases in blood, all of these receptors get stimulated. That is, the peripheral chemoreceptors as well as the receptors of the central nervous system get stimulated. And all these receptors send signal to where? All these receptors send signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center. That means DRG means the inspiratory center becomes stimulated. So when this DRG gets stimulated, this DRG sends signal to the inspiratory muscles. DRG sends signal to the inspiratory muscles. What are the inspiratory muscles in our body? The inspiratory muscles are external intercostal muscles and a diaphragm. So when these receptors send signal to DRG, this DRG sends signal to the inspiratory muscles like external intercostal muscles and diaphragm. So here this DRG sends signal to the external intercostal muscles through the intercostal nerves. It sends signal to the external intercostal muscles through the intercostal nerves. Similarly, it sends signal to the diaphragm. It sends signal to the diaphragm through the phrenic nerves. It sends signal to the diaphragm through the phrenic nerves. So this DRG sends signal to the external intercostal muscles through the intercostal nerves, and similarly it sends signal to the diaphragm through the phrenic nerves. And we know when these muscles stimulated, what happened? These muscles contracted, volume of thoracic chamber as well as the intrapulmonary volume increases, intrapulmonary pressure decreases, air moves from atmosphere to lungs, the inspiration is effected. So when this inspiration effected, when this inhalation or inspiration, in the normal breathing, when this normal inspiration is effected, this pneumotaxic center gets stimulated. That means when air enters the lungs, that means when the inspiration is effected, this pneumotaxic center gets stimulated. This pneumotaxic center also known as cutoff center, because when this air enters the lungs, this pneumotaxic center send a inhibitory impulse to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center. So when air enters the lungs or when the inspiration is effected, the pneumotaxic center send a signal to the DRG of respiratory rhythm center. Which type of impulse? Send a inhibitory impulse to the DRG and switch off the action of DRG. So this pneumotaxic center send an inhibitory impulse to the DRG. The DRG gets switched off. what happened? Causes the expiration by the elastic recoiling of lungs. Causes expiration. So which is under this pneumotaxic center are responsible for cutting inspiration. So it is known as cutter center. That means the duration of inspiration. The duration of inspiration depends on the signal from this pneumotaxic center. Because the pneumotaxic center is responsible for cutting inspiration. So thereby this pneumotaxic center regulates the duration of inspiration. Suppose when this pneumotaxic center cut the inspiration very fastly, what happened? The duration of inspiration reduced. Duration of inspiration reduced means, suppose, so this one is a duration. So the duration of inspiration reduced means the breathing rate will increases. Number of breath per minute increases. So this pneumotaxic center, it cut the inspiration, thereby this pneumotaxic center control the duration of inspiration as well as the breathing rate or the breathing frequency or the number of breath per minute. It depends on the signal from this pneumotaxic center because it cut the inspiration. Then we know we have one more center in the respiratory rhythm center. That center is VRG or ventral respiratory group. And several neurons are found in this VRG. Most of the neurons in VRG are responsible for the forcible expiration. Most of the neurons in VRG are responsible for forcible expiration. But some inspiratory neurons are also found in this VRG. But they are very little in number. Most of the neurons in this VRG are responsible for the forcible expiration. So for a forcible expiration, this VRG sends signal to the expiratory muscles. So for a forcible expiration, this VRG send signal to the expiratory muscles like internal intercostal muscles. Internal intercostal muscle and one more muscle and abdominal muscles. So for the forcible expiration, this VRG sends signal to the internal intercostal muscles and abdominal muscles. So the forcible expiration is controlled by this VRG. Even it has some inspiratory neurons are also there, but they are mainly responsible for the forcible expiration and they send signal to the expiratory muscle. And this VRG have a role only during a forcible breathing. In our quiet breathing, in our normal breathing, there is no role in this VRG. So these are the respiratory center, and by this way, these respiratory centers regulate the breathing or respiration. In addition to this chemoreceptors of our body, some mechanoreceptors. Some mechanoreceptors are also involved in this breathing. We have mechanoreceptors found in the muscular wall of bronchi and bronchioles of lungs. Some mechanoreceptors are found in the muscular wall of bronchi and bronchioles of lungs called structure receptors. These structure receptors of muscular wall of bronchi and bronchioles are highly sensitive to the overstretching of lungs. So these structure receptors of lungs are highly sensitive to the overstretching or the overinflation of lungs. So the stretching of lungs stimulate these structure receptors. And these structure receptors send signal to the DRG. That means as like a pneumotaxic center, these structure receptors send a inhibitory impulse. Send a inhibitory impulse to the DRG for inhibiting inspiration or for cutting inspiration. Like this pneumotoxic sender, these structure receptors of our lungs also inhibit this inspiration and thereby prevent the overstretching of lungs. And this type of reflex mechanism is called as Herring-Broer reflex. This reflex is called as Herring-Broer reflex. Herring-Broer reflex. So Herring-Broer reflex mechanism begins from the structure receptors of bronchi and bronchioles send signal to the DRG for cutting inspiration and thereby prevent the overstretching of lungs called as Herring-Broer reflex. So this form the regulation of human respiratory system. So in this session we completed the regulation of human respiratory system. And thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe, like and share my videos. Okay, see you.